She is now on 12/12/12. Teresa will be doing one of the TED Talks interviews in Atlanta, and the subject of the whole day is creativity matters. And Teresa is going to be doing her lecture on hooping and hoop energy, and 12/12/12 happens to be International Hoop Day. So she is going to be doing hooping on Hoop Day in front of the TED audience on creativity. And today she's here with us, so please help us welcome our wonderful spiritual director, Theresa Rose.
So first of all, thank you all for coming out today and finding a parking spot. I think our parking lot is a perfect metaphor for what happens when you grow, which is what we're doing here at Lake Harriet Spiritual Community. We're growing, and so sometimes with our growth comes some discomfort and challenge and new ways of doing things. So I thank you for that. I tell myself that as much as I tell all of you. We're going to open up the space energetically to the directions and to just raise the vibration. What I am really becoming a student of as much as I possibly can, my detox brother and sister. What I'm getting really an education on is vibration, frequency. And the more that we can stay in that heightened vibration and frequency, or whatever frequency we want to stay in. Sometimes we want to stay in the depression frequency. We don't tell ourselves we're going to want to stay in the depression frequency, but we continue to do it, therefore we must want it. So what I want to do this morning is raise the frequency to something higher than that, and to a place of real power and unity and healing. So I'm going to do a drumming to open the circle. You're welcome to use the rattles if you wish. You can use your hands, or you can just sit and feel the expression and expansion that we do.
and all of the spaces between yourselves. Let the vibration that we have just created shake free all of that smallness, all the fear, all the doubt, all the anger, all the frustration, all the resentment. Shake it off. Let that vibration raise you to a new frequency of understanding, of love, of hope, of compassion, of wisdom, of healing, and of love. And so it shall be. As always, we are going to open up the collective altar. This is a sacred space that we are going to hold all of our power, our energy, our prayers into this experience and be able to infuse it with this collective into our objects that are sacred to us, that you can then take it back with you in your own meditation and spirit work. I invite you to join me now in the altar if you have any object you'd like to add to it. Come on up.
Thank you. Thank you for taking that step into your own growth. Spirit told me, you don't move those rattles, you're going down. So I paid attention. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It is a big, big, big time for all of us. And there's so much that could be said about everything. It was hard for me this week to get just one bit of information from Spirit on what I was going to say today, because as of even 10:15, it was telling me new stuff, and I was like, I have 40 minutes. You can cut it down, edit. I'm like the cosmic editor. Could you give me just the essence, please? Y'all feel, do you feel it in yourself? To feel like the... It's so much of what's going on is what a teacher told me several years ago, a spiritual teacher of mine, Anna Judith, told me something several years ago. She wrote a book on it, and I've gone through summer classes with her, that we are collectively going, right now, on the earth, we are making a shift from the third chakra globally to the fourth chakra globally. The third chakra, if you're unfamiliar with it, what a chakra is, it's just another name for a center. It's just another name for a place, a portal, a moment in time, an energetic depot. Here's the energy coming in, and we do stuff with it, and there's the energy that goes out. And we have those in our bodies, and we have them in the planet. And we are shaking into our newness of the fourth chakra, which is the place of heart, and the place of compassion, and healing, and gratitude, and love. And the third chakra holds a lot of power misused, and fear, and anger, and all sorts of ick, okay? And what I'm noticing as I'm watching, I'm really trying to live through my energy eyes as best I can. I always find that I get healthier, I get more productive, I feel better in my body when I walk through the world with my energy glasses on, in addition to my Burberry glasses. I look and I go, what the hell is happening in the world? We just went through, in less than 1 week, a huge swath of our land, not our land, the land that we're sitting on, get drenched. Hundreds of people have died. Thousands of people hundreds of Americans have died, which is usually the number that we focus on. There are people that lost their lives. There are people that are... I talked to a really good friend last night in Ohio who hasn't had her power since Monday. She's going to bed every night like this, thanking God above for her 2 cats. And there's people without gas to be able to go anywhere. There's people without food or shelter or anything, right? I mean, did y'all feel that when that hit? Feel the energetic blast that we got when Sandy came onto shore. And somehow it's distant from us, right? Because we're in Minnesota. We're in the comfy confines of where the global warming will hit last, is Minnesota. And yet we feel this tremendous power of what happened to our fellow human being, our brothers and sisters. And there's a moment, don't you find that your heart just automatically just expands? How many of you have given or want to give to the disaster of Sandy? How many of you have given or want to give? There's help that's needed, tremendous help that's needed. And it's like you just like, we're all one, right? There's no New Jerseyans, there's no New Yorkers, there's no Vermontiers, if that's what they're called. There's just all these people that are hurt and they're struggling. So you take that moment in time, it's this tremendous, it's a superstorm. And you feel the, oh my God, really? Like, whoa, you're really starting to feel the magnitude of that. You're not only starting to feel the magnitude that the human beings are going through this, but isn't there a part of you in your mind that's feeling the magnitude of, oh my God, these are getting serious. These storms are getting serious. And so there's a moment of unity and a moment of like you just want to open your heart to everybody and just go, yes, I feel you, I feel you, I feel you. I there, but for the grace of God go I. You know, you can imagine in your mind's eye a storm coming and the power going off. And you can imagine in your mind's eye water rushing into your house. And you can imagine with your mind's eye that you have no phone to contact anybody. You have no car. Your car is gone. Even if you had your car, you can't get it anywhere. We all can imagine what that feels like, right? And it doesn't matter who you are, what you look like, what color your hair is, how much money you have, nothing. All of that moment, in that moment of grave trauma, we all can feel the oneness of every single one of us. When we're in a disaster like that, you don't pay attention to anything other than, are you alive? Are you okay? What do you need? Are you okay? Our hearts can just go when something like that happens. And yet, the yang of the yin is we are killing each other with the vitriol. I am, for one, so grateful that Election Day is in 3 days.
Praise the Lord.
Praise the Lord! Can I get a witness?
Amen.
This is what I like to do with my energy classes. I like to look at things practically. Now, I know you may not see that when I'm, hoop dancing and drumming and chanting and sounding, like your basic cosmic muffiny woo-woo chick. But I'm a pretty practical person. I'm a Bloomingtonian wife and mother, for goodness sake. But I look at this stuff and I go, how is that serving us by attacking each other? Because, we can all say, well, but there's very real differences between the Democratic Party and the Republican Party. Very real, very significant. And I'm not telling you one way or the other to go one way, I'm going to tell you no to listening to other people on what you're going to vote for. No. But vote. Little one in the rainbow, you don't have to vote yet. But everybody else, if you can, vote. It is an exertion of power, your power. So when you tell the universe, I am taking this thing that has been given to me as my right, and I am going to exercise my power, you do that once, and you get to do it in all the other places in your life too. Okay? You've been given a ballot in your life. Use it. But we look at this thing with the Republicans and the Democrats. I see on Facebook, how many of you watch all of this drama unfold on Facebook? Okay, it's getting mean. I've had friends say, some of you aren't going to be my friend very longer because I just can't stand how you're talking and you won't agree with me and you're just wanting to get into an argument with me and you're just not any good anymore. Delete. And the ones that haven't done that, they're just still, I understand passion. Trust me. I'm a Scorpio. I understand passion. But what I don't think is good for us, I'm not talking about advancing the agenda, okay? I wish every single person would have the same thing on their Facebook profile that would send a really strong message of what we could vote for on Tuesday. And no, I'm not going to tell you what that is. I want people to stand in their power. I want people to have conviction. But what I think is detrimental to our society, to us, is this when we start to slip into judgment. And I'm so guilty. You get around the table, and I know a couple of you have been around the table with me after a couple glasses of Malbec, and I'll let you know exactly what I think. Well, I can't believe they do the bad. But as I'm doing my spiritual work, as I'm trying to grow, I'm recognizing that compassion and forgiveness are a huge component of it. See, because there's different practices that we can do for spirituality. There's different ways that we can remember that we're spirit. One of the ways that we can remember that we're spirit is presence, right? We're just here, we're here. When we actually just stop and don't let our mind go, yeah, but I'm teaching a hoop workshop at 1 o'clock, or yeah, but I got into an argument with my daughter 2 hours ago. When I don't live there, but I live here with you, I can feel spirit. Another practice that we can do to feel spirit is gratitude. Gratitude is a huge spiritual practice. But another spiritual practice that isn't quite as fun is forgiveness. Really? Do I have to? For me, I am using this election and this time, this whole amped up time, to really try to work on forgiveness for me for things that just morally offend me. And the things that feel so out of alignment. You know what I mean? When you're in alignment with God, when you're in alignment with your own power, and then you see something that's out of alignment, here's the tricky thing. If you judge it, you're out of alignment too. That's the key. You got to be still in alignment with spirit even when people are doing all the crazy around you, when they're not. And still stay there, still stay there, still stay there. And part of that is forgiveness. For me, I feel like I want to look past the people that I'm angry at and see their divinity. Because we act like, maybe we don't even act like it. We just think it sometimes. That you're just a total idiot. You're clueless. And then it goes from there. Idiot's sort of the nicest version. And then it goes, they have no heart, and all that other stuff. How could they? And they both do it. And both of us do it. I mean, you could get Keith Olbermann in here, tag teaming with Rachel Maddow, and you can have Dick Cheney in here with Karl Rove as his wingman, and they'd be going, right? They wouldn't run out. And each one thinks they're the smartest one in the room. That's what we do every day when we engage in that dialogue. on a smaller level. We can disagree, we can say this isn't right, this isn't right for me, this doesn't feel good. Fundamentally, it just doesn't feel good. But we can look at the human on the other side. Because what I'm finding in my spiritual practice is, yeah, I'm doing great. Everything's fantastic. That things are manifesting for me. Things are going well for me as I'm learning these practices. And I'm doing gratitude every day, and I'm writing out my dream every day, and I'm visualizing, and I'm being, very present with my moments, and I'm making sure that I'm, communicating with my family and with spirit on how I am doing and how I can grow more and be more present with them, and all this stuff. And then as I continue to go, I'm realizing, okay, wait a minute, what's underneath all that then? What's underneath all that is hostility and rage and resentment and other. And some of the hostility and rage that I have, I'm embarrassed to tell you, but I'm going to. Because one of the things that we can do to unleash our power and get back into complete and full alignment is be absolutely fearless. My anger and resentment go deep at politicians and bankers who have caused this economic collapse, at food companies and pharmaceuticals and lobbyists who are keeping our people fat and sick, especially our children. And I'm angry that no one seems to be paying attention to the colossal catastrophe we're doing to the earth. God, am I pissed off. And the spiritual practice is, how do I look at all that and say, thank you. Thank you. I am so appreciative. And I hold no resentment. I go through that and I can feel, as I step into that, I can feel, okay, here's this politician and this banker and this food executive. And each one of those people have hearts. Each one of those people just wants the best. They're just unskilled, really unskilled. Understatement. But they're just unskilled. And as I push through that, or really just sort of ease into it, I can recognize that frees me. Because you know what? I'm pretty sure that Dick Cheney is not losing sleep over the fact that he's pissing me off. So it doesn't hurt anybody but me. And it's not hurting your resentments. Who are you giving your resentment to? Who are you angry at? Who are you blaming? Who are you blaming for your life that is less than? And I want to tell you the work that I'm doing that's really hard, crazy hard, because I can do some of that. I can sink into that. My 11-year-old. My 11-year-old. I have forgiven through countless lodges and circles and drums and therapeutic tables and journals and screen therapy, flotation tanks. Truly, 1988, Los Angeles, California. I've forgiven a ton of wrongdoings in my life. And that little stink pot is harder than all of them. She's in that stage where she knows. I know, and she hasn't looked at her eyes. I've never seen such hate. As when I'm lecturing her about something she hasn't done, she'll right? And me as an energy being, how do you think that makes me feel? It's like she's little, but she packs a wallop. She does, boom! Pick up on that, Mom. Good! You know, she can hit me hard. And I get angry! I get angrier with her than I get with anybody ever, ever, ever. And there's so much hurt that comes from it. That's why I get so angry. Y'all have that happen where you think about the angriest you've ever been in your life where you swear to God you're so freaking psycho you could just rip somebody's head off! You're that angry! Go underneath that. What did he or she do to hurt you? Because that's the only thing. Hurt that deep is the only thing that can create something like that. That anger is hurt. Oh, it hurts! I told her already. I've already said, Emma, you've broken my heart in a billion pieces! There I go, you know, and then I'm like, and I'm saving for the therapy bills that you'll need. Because I know when I say unconscious stuff to my daughter. That's the downside of being conscious sometimes is you figure out when you're not. And you're like, oh, great. So screaming and screaming and screaming and angry and manipulating and, you know, just, my life's not the way I want it to be. Forgiving her is my spiritual practice right now. Last night, my husband and I went out in a fit of, we were just exasperated. We had to take a time out to Santorini's. We took a time out. And we were just, here's our story. Here's my story. Oh yeah, let me tell you my story. Right? Have you ever done that? You one-upped each other on your bad, you know, poor woe is me. Wow, you didn't know that happened. So we go through all this and I sink back into it and I go, you know what the real bitch is about this whole thing? This is our spiritual practice that our daughter, in fact, has moved into at our behest to be the greatest teacher I will ever have. Because she is pushing me into living consciously in the light of spirit every day. Multiple times a day! And for that I thank her. And what I keep trying to tell my heart is when I have fully learned that lesson, she will no longer do it to the degree that she's doing it. I mean, she is a pre-teenage girl with hormones raging. And 6th grade is an alternative universe of hell. I remember it. So I'm not thinking she's going to descend on high as an angel, but what will happen when I continue to do this spiritual practice of forgiveness is to lighten the load, to not have my heart so bruised, and to frankly reclaim my power back from my 11-year-old so I can use it on 12-12-12 when I share the power of joyful movement with the world. I want my energy to be there where Spirit wants me to serve, instead of my energy, purple-faced, veins sticking out, screaming at a preteen. That's where I want to serve. So y'all see where some of the resentments and some of the anger and frustration that you might have, some of the things that you haven't let go of, see how that's being diverted to not your service, not your role, not your highest good? Can you kind of feel that? Because they're not suffering. Or at least they're not suffering like you're suffering. That forgiveness is going to be a spiritual practice that is not for wussies. But I think you're up for it. So we're going to do some. Let's get into a meditative posture. Sit up nice and straight. dive in. Which I want to just kind of explain briefly. How many people are here for the first time? Oh, welcome. You poor things. I should have explained that we all do different things here at LHSC. We all kind of have a different flavor, and even the ones that have the, like I have different flavors of my flavor. And so it's all different, and we just tried, for me, what my objective is to shake free in you the limiting thoughts that you have, to help. I'm almost like a little thing that knocks on your egg, and you crack open into your brilliance. I want you to feel spirit, or the universe, or God, or the force, or your higher self, or it, or all that is, or Bob. Whatever it is for you. Because I bet a lot of you have read and heard a lot about God. Right? Enough. The key is you want to feel it. When you feel it in your toes tingling down at the bottom, you know that it's more than you. When you can get that information that you couldn't possibly have gotten, that's more than you. When you can accomplish things that no way in your physical world could you accomplish, but you do, that's the more than you part. And I want to help you get there as we crack free open our forgiveness. This is from a book called Resurfacing by Harry Palmer, and I'd be happy to tell you all about it later after the service. But it's something that I went through several years ago in a workshop, and it really, really helped me. And I need it today. And I think maybe you guys need it too. Because we all want to be who we're designed to be, who we're meant to be. So just close your eyes and feel your feet on the ground. And just imagine that there's two tethers attached to you on your left and your right, and one is the past, and one is connected to the future. And you just undo those tethers. You can pick them back up again afterwards, but let's just be here right now in the moment together. Breathe into your body and let that breath travel magically through all of your physical body. Imagine that it's traveling in your shoulders and down your arms, out your feet. Breathe in and imagine that the breath is traveling into your chest and into all the corners of your lungs, every little pocket. Breathe in and let that energy travel down through your spine, into every single vertebrae, and into every single nerve that is going off of your spinal cord. Breathe in and clear out any negative thoughts that are in your brain. Just imagine that it just blows it out. As you exhale, you just blow out any negative thoughts, past thoughts, future thoughts, any thoughts of fear or doubt. You can just breathe in clear, cool goodness, strength, power, wisdom, and love. And you can breathe out all those negative thoughts of fear, doubt, lack, judgment, anger, resentment. Continue to breathe into your body. Let the breath go into your hips, into your pelvic floor. You can imagine that the breath is actually just pooling into energy into your pelvis, that you can feel you're fully present sitting here now, today. Breathe in and let that energy of your breath travel into your legs, relaxing your legs, softening your legs. Your legs hold us up, and they take so much abuse, and they're just so there for us so often. Let's just breathe into them and soften the muscles that are in the legs, the thighs and the calves. Breathe in and let the breath travel all the way down to your feet, into your heels and to the bottoms of your feet, the place that holds you to the ground, that first connector, that first point where you are holding. the earth and the earth is holding you. Breathe into your toes. Imagine that as you continue to breathe this clean, clear, powerful energy, this energy of the divine, that you can take this moment to be absolutely transformed into a higher frequency. As you breathe in, and you breathe in your own positive thoughts, you're breathing in your own visions of the future, you're breathing in your own divine, unlimited power. You are breathing out anything that is less frequency, that is less you, that you no longer need to hold on to. Even if it is a huge, huge trauma, huge wound, huge fear. It could be the biggest one you've ever experienced in your life, your biggest resentment you have in your body. With your next breath, breathe in clear, clean, powerful, loving, divine energy, and breathe out that wound, emotional or physical. As you continue to feel yourself getting more and more connected to your own power, you feel the earth's gravitational pull starting to just oh so gently tug on you a little bit. You feel the bottoms of your feet feel more connected to the ground. You feel the base of your pelvis pulling down a little further onto the chair as you feel yourself connecting more fully to the iron ore crystal of beloved Mother Earth. You feel absolutely grounded and open. Breathe in, allow that breath to continue to come into your body, filling you, expanding you, healing you, and loving you. Breathe in and allow yourself, your consciousness at the top of your head. Imagine that it is opening like a flower. Your roots are firmly in place, your stem is in place, but the blossom on your flower is at the top of your head, and it begins to open up, 1,000 petals opening, opening, opening. Allow that energy of the divine creator, all that is, the universe, to shower down upon you, feeling it enter into you. You can feel that energy, whether you know it or not, or could put words to it or not, you can feel the energy of the creation, the creator, entering into you. It's bathing you, it's softening you, it's bathing your eyes of any harsh images you've taken in, bathing your ears of any harsh language you have heard, anything that has been disturbing. It bathes your mouth of any words that you've used in anger toward another. It bathes your shoulders, releasing any burden that you're experiencing. It bathes your hands of anything that you've done in anger with your body, any hurt you have caused anyone or anything. Bathing all the way down through your feet, having you walk into this world with more sacredness and more presence. And I want you to imagine in your mind's eye, right in front of you, that there is a person that you love more than anything else in the world. He or she has been your delight, your rock. It has given you this person has given you so much love, so much joy. It is the highlight on your real life. With your attention to this person right in front of you, see them, smell them, hear them. With your attention on this person, repeat to yourself, just like me, this person is seeking some happiness for his or her life. Just like me, this person is seeking some happiness for his or her life. Just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. Just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. See that person that you love in front of you and recognize that just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. Just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. Just like me, this person is seeking to fill his or her needs. Just like me, this person is seeking to fill his or her needs. And just like me, this person is learning about life. Just like me, this person is learning about life. Breathe in and see that person, feel that person, feel that heart connection. Feel yourself absolutely overflowing with compassion and love for them, gratitude for them. Feel them in your life and your heart always. You can see their light shining in their heart, their divinity, their soul. It's beautiful. And then let that person who you need and have an opportunity to have some forgiveness enter into the picture with them. Let that person stand right next to your special him or her, continuing to send that loving energy to that field where they both reside. Look at that person in the eyes that you are having struggle with, that you are resenting, that you are blaming, that you have been betrayed by. Look at them and say from your heart, just like me, this person is seeking some happiness for his or her life. Just like me, this person is trying to avoid suffering in his or her life. Just like me, this person has known sadness, loneliness, and despair. Just like me, this person is seeking to fill his or her needs. And just like me, this person is learning about life. This place of unity, of oneness, of forgiveness will free you. Imprint this feeling into your cells, into your memory, into your vibration, that you can tap back into it in the future whenever you feel that resentment that's making you small. Breathe in. Breathe in gratitude for this moment of healing for yourself. Come back into the room, into your body. Open your eyes when you're ready, at your own time and pace. So I'll just leave you with this. As we walk through this world, the moment you leave, every day, work into that place where you are operating from here. It's pretty simple. It's not easy, but it's simple. We lead from our hearts. We forgive. When we do that, everything will start to shift. Our happiness will be more present, and we will be able to contribute more to our planet, to healing it, to loving it. Thank you all. I want to just say before we have the offering, I am humbled today by the presence of a spiritual master. Our 9 a.m. leader, one of our 9 a.m. leaders who is one of my delights, is Linda Austin, and she's here today. Her son, David, is sitting next to her. David, how long ago was this? A month? A month ago. David was struck by a tumor, brain tumor. He was in ICU. It was very, very scary. And what I would only assume, David had a moment where he could have chosen. Well, he did choose. He did choose. One of your choices was to leave. Leave and go up. One of your choices was to stay and be a vegetable. And one of your choices was to use it as a transformative moment in time where your connection to the divine and to all of creation, which is all of us, would literally rebuild you. David's journey, he walked into this moment when he had his brain tumor, where he chose, I believe all the stuff my mom's been talking about. And I know that there is an infinite source of power available to me. And I know that I am not limited in my ability to create it. So not only did David heal himself of the brain tumor that was threatening to kill him, but he actually utilized it as an opportunity to put every fear, every doubt, every piece of shame, every bad memory, every smallness, every resentment, every bit of anger into the thing that the doctors were going to take out. Is this a pretty accurate statement, David? And his doctors are like, what? Huh? What? Can't believe it. Can't believe it. He's walking around after a week. He's talking to the nurses. They're all falling in love with him. And now he's here today. So I just wanted to bring it up because he's an everyday example of how we can walk in the world in power and in spirit and in oneness. And so just him being here, feel it. You can just feel it. Somebody amazing is in my presence. A spiritual master is in my presence. And I'm honored and humbled that you are here. And I want each of you to sort of feel a little bit of that too. Because David's no different than you. You have your own experiences that you got to rally for. His was just particularly dramatic. But we all have our own. So let's use this moment to really transform ourselves.